Hey, soul survivors, if you've dealt with emotional neglect from a narcissist, it can have profound impact on you. And also looking back in your childhood, or if you are raising children, how we can be more available for them. We're going to talk about the profound impact that it has, different ways to cope. But emotional neglect, this occurs when a person's emotional needs are consistently ignored, dismissed, or unmet by caregivers or significant others. And this happens a lot in narcissistic relationships. So, unlike physical neglect, which involves the absence of necessities like food or shelter, emotional neglect is less visible. But it's equally damaging, and it often arises in childhood, but it can occur in adult relationships. So, what are the effects of it? You can start having difficulty identifying your emotions. People who experience this type of emotional neglect, they can struggle to recognize and even label their emotions. So if you don't know exactly which emotion you're going through, it's hard to decide how to heal from that. And this is because they were not taught how to process or articulate their feelings. And this can lead to emotional numbness or confusion. And in these narcissistic relationships, a lot of times we have never been through this type of abuse. And it can cause low self esteem. When somebody's feelings are consistently ignored, they may internalize the message that their emotions and by extension themselves are unimportant or invalid, and it can result in chronic self-doubt and also that diminished sense of self-worth. It can cause difficulty in forming relationships. If you've been through the abuse, you're going to be scared to trust someone or to open back up to someone. Now, emotional neglect can make it hard to trust the people and talk about things in a vulnerable way. And you need to be vulnerable with people in order to connect and bond with them. And you can start to struggle with intimacy, fearing rejection, or not knowing how to connect to other people. You can have chronic feelings of emptiness. A persistent sense of emptiness happens a lot. It's common to go through this if you've experienced any type of emotional neglect. And you can have that fear of intimacy. It might feel unsafe to express what you're going through in relationships. And this can lead to emotional walls or avoidance or deeper connections. And many people struggle or have experienced emotional neglect. They describe it as a persistent sense of just something's missing, a void that they can't easily fill. And they're leading to feelings of loneliness or isolation. And to compensate for feeling unseen or undervalued, some people develop perfectionistic tendencies or they tie their worth to achievements and they can seek validation externally instead of internally. It's important to be whole within ourselves and search from inside us instead of from the outside. So, how can we meet our own emotional needs? We have to recognize and name our emotions, practicing identifying what you're feeling. Journaling is excellent for this, or even using tools like emotion wheels. And these can help you pinpoint your emotions and start to understand them. And self compassion, treat yourself with kindness and understanding, especially when you're feeling vulnerable. Acknowledge that your needs and feelings are valid. It is okay to get upset that you're not being treated the right way. And how do we handle it? Even if they weren't validated in the past. Set your boundaries. Learn to say no or express when you're feeling uncomfortable. Boundaries protect your emotional energy and they help ensure that your needs aren't consistently overlooked. Reflect on how your emotions influence your thoughts, your actions. Use mindfulness practices like meditation. These can help you stay present with what you're feeling without judgment and give yourself permission, express those feelings. And it can mean talking to a trusted friend, journaling some more, or even seeking therapy. I do one-on-ones. I can help you through that. Surround yourself with people who respect your emotions and provide genuine support. Often we try to find our support from our narcissistic partner, and they're not going to give us what we need. There are people who are willing to help us. Know who your people are. Start building relationships where you feel seen and heard. This can help you heal. And engage in activities that help you manage overwhelming feelings. There are techniques. You can do deep breathing, grounding exercises. Have creative outlets like art or sewing or singing, music. All these things can be beneficial. And imagine giving your inner child the care and validation that they missed. Speak to yourself in a nurturing way, supportive of yourself, offering the love and acceptance that you needed in the past. So if you are really struggling, when do we seek professional help? It can leave deep scars, and professional therapy can provide a safe place to explore and heal from this. Just ignoring it or pushing it away isn't going to help with it. It's going to let it fester and stew within you, and it can actually cause more damage. So instead of living in the past, bring yourself into the present, deal with the past, cope with it, realize that we are safe now, or we can provide ourselves a way to be safe. We don't have to tolerate emotional neglect. Also, if you've gone through narcissistic abuse, it's sometimes difficult to be there for your own children because of all the trauma that you've been through. So you might want to reach out to people to help you through this so you can be more present when you're with your children. Healing from emotional neglect, it's a journey. It doesn't happen overnight, but it is freeing. And when you prioritize your emotional well-being and learning to honor your feelings, you can rebuild your sense of self and cultivate a more fulfilling life. And also make sure that if you are struggling, that you get the help that you need. If you have children, to realize that that's where that generational trauma comes in. So we want to be as healthy and happy as we can for our children. When you are with them, be present in the moment, listen to what they're saying, talk to them. And sometimes we want to just guide them, but sometimes we need to hear what they're saying. And when they act out, a lot of times it's from an unmet need. So if I can help you in any way, please let me know. One-on-ones are available. Topic requests are always welcome, and we'll get through this one day at a time.